we're going to show you how to install a windowsill where you have the drywall wrapped up to the windowsill, up to the window. This house was built in 2005. When it was built, it did not come with windowsills. They wrapped the drywall up to the window. What I'm going to show you how to do today is remove this bullnose, this drywall, and install a windowsill. At the end of this video, you'll be able to install a windowsill, the trim, and I'll show you how to wrap the windowsill around the bullnose corner. For today's project of installing a windowsill, I'll go through the tools we're going to use for the job. This here is a table router. We need a 1x6 piece of wood, a piece of trim, a putty knife, a set tool. The set tool is going to be for the trim nails that's going to hold our trim in place. Or we need some screws to hold our windowsill. A C-clamp, a saw. This little gadget here replaces a chop saw. Tape measure, pencil, a hacksaw, a file, hammer, a wood chisel, a square, a sander, a drill with a Phillips tip, a scroll saw, your preferred color of paint with a paintbrush, and some tile and tub white caulking. Okay, our measurement was 34 7/8. We want to add our 1 1/4 for each side, so that takes us to 37 3/8. So 37 3/8. I'll use the square for a straight edge here. And that is the total length of the board. Now, instead of putting the C-clamp directly on your wood, I'm going to use a piece of scrap. And a piece of scrap will keep us from marking up and denting our piece of wood. All I did here is I put a mark on using the square to cut the corner of our 1x6 off, so it comes out with a cornered edge as we wrap around our drywall for our windowsill here. Same thing on the other end. My next step here is I'm going to go ahead and cut these corners. Once again, I'm going to use our scrap piece. Okay, the next step is we're going to measure our 1 1/4 in. This is the piece that's going to wrap around that drywall. Same thing on this side over here. I've already marked my 1.25 inches. Our next step is we're going to take this piece in the house and we're going to lay it in the window and find out how much of this needs to be removed. We don't want to cut this whole thing, we just want to cut enough to get around that drywall. Okay, the next step is we're going to take our windowsill, place it in here like so. Want to be snug up on the corner here. We'll use a straight edge right here on the wall. And we're going to mark that. But we're also going to match the corner. We're going to do what that corner does here with our pencil. And we're going to do the same thing on this side here. Once again, we want to be tight up against the back of the window. As you can tell, it doesn't sit in there quite right because of the window itself. That's okay. We're going to cut those out, and we're going to file these in accordingly as we get our shelf. Okay, and an important piece of this is safety, and I've got safety glasses here when we're using power tools. Even the wood saw, I was using safety glasses. I'm going to cut along this line and around here, and this is going to fit in that corner. Okay, as you can see, with the scroll saw, I've cut these pieces out, and now we're just going to lay it in there and see how close of a fit we have. This side over here looks pretty good. This side here looks like I need to file this little corner just a little bit so it fits in there tighter. We want it going back in here. It doesn't have to be a perfect fit because we're going to caulk along these edges and along here, so it'll look just fine when it's installed. I am going to file this just a little bit. Okay, now we're going to prep this area for our windowsill. We're going to remove this drywall and the bullnose. This bullnose is actually a piece of metal in here. I believe they make it out of different materials, but this particular one is metal. So I've got a hacksaw here, and I'm just going to cut this metal right down here. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Don't worry about making too much damage out of here. We're going to cover this up with our trim. So if you go a little more than you expected, it's okay. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just be careful for the glass if you're using a hacksaw. I've done these before where I use a wood chisel, and that cuts them out too, but it's a little bit rougher when you're done. Okay. Our next step, we'll definitely need the safety glasses. This is where our wood chisel and our hammer come in. We want to be extra careful around the glass. If we don't remove this piece of drywall and we put our windowsill above this, our windowsill will sit too high. We'll be up in past this piece here, and we want to be down below there about 3/4 of an inch. And by taking that drywall out, that's about where you'll be. What you're dealing with is a piece of drywall on top of your window that's been framed out. So underneath here is a 2x4. And we're trying to get down to that 2x4.